Welcome or welcome back to my channel. So hi, I'm Daisha and I show my behind the scenes of my small bookish business that I create everything out of the small studio. So if that interests you, my small business journey, productivity, posting on Etsy, then come along. So today I am going to be walking through the steps of uploading a listing on Etsy, starting with the photo editing process and then going into the actual listing. Starting out, it can be daunting because it's a lot of information and you don't know how much certain things like affect the outcome of the listing, like how people are going to see it, or you don't want to get in trouble for posting the wrong thing. So I'm going to walk through just my process this morning and take you along with me. So if you have any questions about this, leave them down below. In this video, I was going to show taking the photos, but I'd actually already taken these and I was going to take more photos just to get that clip. So if I end up taking more photos for something else, I will include that. If not, and you're interested, I can make another video. Since I do skip that part, just something to remember is you want to be in a room that has good lighting, but not direct lighting. So if, for instance, I was outside, the harshness of the sun is going to create shadows that you don't want in your photos. So just keeping things like that in mind. I actually use like a light. It's not really a box, but it has like it creates light for you, but I don't shine the light panel directly on the product. I guess I could just show you real quick. I don't have like super high ceilings. I will show the light on the ceiling and like it brightens up the whole room because the whiteness of the ceiling's bouncing back. This is the panel that I have. If you do head on, it's too much, but head on is too much. But if you use this and shine it up at the ceiling, it bounces back and creates soft lighting. So if you have more questions on that or any questions, I can answer those or post another video. So I will leave some timestamps. That way, if you're only curious in the Etsy part, you can jump straight there, but I am going to edit the photos first. So come along with me. All right, let's get started. So I have opened Canva here. I personally love Canva. I'm not really good at editing. I've never used like Photoshop or anything. So if you're more comfortable with another platform or, software, go for it. But I love Canva. I'm a teacher, so I get Canva Pro for free. So this is where I live. So I chose the 2000 by 1500 pixels. I just noticed that this one is the one that a lot of people were using when I first got started. I don't know if it's still technically like the exact ratio because sometimes Etsy does these like updates and things like that, and sometimes it doesn't fit right. But when I upload this later, it does fit. So here I am. I'm just uploading all the photos from my phone to Canva. So I just have Canva opened, like the app opened on my phone. Click on Canva, hit upload, and then I'm just having to refresh on the computer to make it actually pop up. Another option, I could have just like airdrop them from my iPhone to my MacBook, but I just think using the app is a little bit faster. So notice I took all the pictures in landscape, which is when you hold your phone like horizontal. That's why I'm having to shift them all around, but it does go ahead and give you that same ratio. Whereas the first picture, you'll notice it was actually in, wait, hold on. I don't know if I said that backwards. I took the pictures in landscape. The first picture was in portrait, which is like where it's vertical up and down, and it still worked, but a lot of the times it doesn't work. So I would just make sure to take it in landscape mode. So I'm just uploading all of these, just picking out the ones that I wanted. And I ended up uploading some more because I do want some variety to be able to show the product in different ways. So when I first joined Etsy, you could only upload 10 photos. And they were like, you have to upload your 10 photos. Make sure you upload your 10 photos. That's 10 opportunities. Etsy actually upped it to 20. And I'm like, there's only so many ways I can show you these annotation kits. So I'm not as worried about getting 20. Now I'm just still worried about getting my 10. So, I mean, do what's best for you. So here I am, I'm editing. This is the part that I think is really cool about Canva. So I use the filter Capri, which is a warm setting, but then I go into the adjustments and I take down the temperature and bring up the brightness. And to me, this just really shows product in a really good light. It usually clears up any problems and then I can just adjust from there. And then after I did it one time, I'm just selecting those three dots, clicking the paintbrush, and taking that same format to each picture. You'll notice on this one though, I didn't like how Happy Place looked. I don't know if it was just like my hand or what, but something was like washing out the cover. So I did take down, I think, the vibrancy or something. So sometimes you have to kind of play around, especially if you're in the picture, because a skin tone is obviously going to look very different compared to a pink product. However, I just think this is a really good and easy way to edit. So again, I'm clicking that paintbrush again, taking that same format and adding it to all the pictures. So like after you get one done, you're good. And especially after you know what you like. Like I know it's capri, temperature down, brightness up. This process moves very quickly. So another thing that I recommend is putting anything important that the customer needs to know in the text on the photo. I'll be honest, I don't think they're reading the description. Like, we take our time to type it up. A lot of people are not reading that. So a good thing to do is put anything you want them to know in the photo. That way, as they're scrolling through to see what they want, they can see it. Also, on your phone, the description isn't as easy to get to either. So it's not even the fact they're just not reading it. It's also the fact that it's not easily accessible. So just adding in that information, that way they're not confused. So like for my bookmarks, I'm letting them know exactly what they get, especially since I did take a picture with Happy Place. I don't want them to think that they're about to get a book, right? Because you're not getting a book. So I'm just putting that the kit comes with a bookmark with tabs, pen, highlighter, and sticker. Because I have had people ask me before, oh, if I click bookmark, am I not getting the tabs? So just like clarifying, like you're getting bookmark with tabs. And I think I even went back and made sure I added tassel. I don't know if I put it here or if it was in the description. But just make sure that they knew that they will be getting all those. And just also making it where you can read it. So I just went in and changed the font color to white, and then in the effect tab, I added that outline. That way you can better see the text. And then here I'm just showing there's two, because there'll be two options. So there's the one with the kit, which you get everything, but if you just choose bookmark, you get the bookmark with tabs and the tassel. And this just helps you not have to answer as many questions because they're able to see it. And honestly, I've uploaded these bookmarks before. I have one listing where you can buy all of the genres in one. But I decided, I was like, I wonder what would happen if I split the listings up. So I'm making just a romance one today. So I have been selling these for a couple of months now. I know what the questions are. A lot of people want to know if the tabs do come with it. A little bit of confusion sometimes on what to pick. And then originally I didn't make a drop down menu for them to choose the colors, but what was happening, no one was ever giving me any guidance of what they wanted. Because I would leave the personalization box open so they could just tell me, but no one was telling me. And then I would have to guess. And no one complained, but I didn't like the thought of someone not getting what they wanted because they didn't specify. So that's why I added that drop down menu in. So I feel like making a listing, especially, it's kind of a learning process of what you like in the experience of fulfilling an order. So like if you don't care, if they, like the colors, then it would be fine. But I think making a drop down menu made it easier. And then I still left that personalization box open. That way if they have something else that they want to tell me, they can. And then here I'm just showing like romance is adjacent to dark romance. So just saying like I have dark romance available along with other genres. That way if somebody clicks on this listing and romance is not their jam, they now know that I offer other products too that they might be interested in. And I think you can link other listings in the description. I didn't do that in this video, but I may go back and try. I didn't think about it, honestly. So after I have all my text on screen, I'm just downloading the PNG. And then I went into another listing. I did not want to reinvent the wheel because I already had a video made. Etsy also likes if you have a video uploaded. I think the video has to be less than a minute long. So I just took the video and put it here. That way I could put it in that same file size. But again, this is a video that I'd made previously, and it's literally everything I just put on the text on the screen. Everything that's in the description is also on the video. So that way they'll know for sure like what this is, what they're getting. And then also, I think the process of me actually showing how I made the bookmark, like putting the tabs on, is very personal, because then you're like, oh, like you see that I'm a person, and then you see that I'm like taking the time, especially since I'm like matching these to the cover. And I feel like it gives you a better like experience of what I'm doing, if that makes sense. So like, yeah, if you can do a video like showing your process, that'd be great. All right, now we're in Etsy, and this is when you choose your category. I don't know how important this stuff is. I was really stressed out about it the first time, but mine is goes into books, movie, and music. So I'm making a physical product. Who made it? I did. So this part's all about like who made it and what was used to make it. Um, Technically, some of these are made to order because they're not already ready, and I have to like do the tabs. But I just put that it was made, like this year span, because sometimes they are already made. Um, I put from assembled products, and then here I put handheld tools because I do cut them by hand, but computerized tools because I use a printer, computer, etc. And then save. I don't think it's that deep, but it just gives Etsy some more information. So here is where it gets important. Your title. So I kind of zoomed through that because my computer was lagging when I was recording it. But when you're making your title, you need to be thinking about what is the customer actually going to type in to get to your item. And I actually use eRank. I think I actually show that in a second, to help me with making sure I'm picking things that people are actually typing in to see what they're going to do to find the listing. Because if you put something, in here, like if I just put bookmark, that's going to bring everybody just looking for bookmarks. It's important for me to use the words annotation. So here I am looking at keywords and things that have been searched to figure out what exactly I want to put in my title and my tags. So if I just put gift for readers, it will come up. But if I specifically put that it's an annotation kit, when I looked at eRank, annotation had a kind of a low search term, but it also has even lower competition and really high conversion rate, which lets me know the people that do type it in are buying. And so by combining putting annotation, but also leaving in those like bookish keywords and romance, that's going to help people be able to find it. So just doing some research to see what makes sense for whatever you're selling. So in the description, I'm basically putting everything that was already on the photos, what you're getting, just kind of making it more personable, like you're talking to somebody, telling them how they can use it, what the categories include, who this gift is perfect for. So just those things. I've heard that the description isn't really used as much on Etsy to help customers find you. Like this is more of just information for them to know once they get there. According to like the research that I have done, it's mostly about what's in your title and then what's in your tags, which we'll do tags in a minute here. But I just think it's important to have a description. That way, if people do read it, it is there. But again, like I said, putting that information in different places. So right underneath the description, I'll go ahead and talk about the personalization tab. You only need to turn that on if people can make customizations or requests for the product. So like for me, I allow people to tell me what color scheme they want or if they want to match to a book. So I've had people say like, can you make this the color scheme of Throwing Glass? So I put here what they can do, and then I make it optional because not everybody wants to make it fit a book. They just want to pick from a drop down. So if you put that they have to, everyone's going to have to type in that box. And sometimes that creates confusion when they don't want anything. So make personalization optional for buyer. I click that on. Now here, I don't need to put the price or the quantity, and that's because I'm making a variation. So add a variation and then create your own. And then I'm going to type the name of the variation. So the first variation that I need is which option are you choosing? Because you can buy the kit that comes with the pen and the highlighter and the sticker, or you can just get the bookmark. And at first, I wasn't going to link to the photos because I didn't think I had one with just the bookmark. But I do go change that. And that's a good option. Also, it can only be 20 characters. That's a good option. So that way people know exactly which one they're buying when they click on the drop-down menu. So, because I went back and added it. So now when I go to add this, I can click an option that shows the bookmark, pen, highlighter, and sticker. And then when I add the bookmark one, I just didn't have one by itself, but I did have the picture that showed the 4 bookmarks that doesn't have the pen, highlighter, or anything else in the photo. So I chose that one just so that we would know. So here you're going to see me mess up. Well, no, I didn't mess up here. This is just me choosing the price. So like saying that that's the variation, like one is a different price. So I set my 2 prices. But here I'm about to mess up and I'm not going to notice it until the end. I forgot to do another drop down menu for them to choose the colors of the tabs. So if I hadn't caught that, when somebody went to go buy it, they might have been confused on like what to do. And of course, they could type it in the personalization box, but they might not have known to. Here they have like occasion, holiday. Mine doesn't fit into any of those, so I just skipped that and went to the tags, which is when I was talking about earlier doing the research. So your tags, they don't have to be exact words. So you'll notice I kind of start just typing things like that'll fit because I think you can have up to 20 characters here too, I think. So I'm like annotation bookmark, tabs, annotating, book, romance reader, just kind of jumbling those words together because as long as they're in there, they can broad match, which means Etsy might take where I put annotation, stationery, and kit. They might, if somebody types in any of those combinations, they can come up. And then I selected the processing profile. So I changed this to 1 to 3 days ready to ship because it is the holiday season and I just don't know what it's going to look like. And then I do already have my shipping options set, but it's not too hard to do. If you don't have a scale, I would go ahead and get one. That way you're able to correctly guess how much it's going to weigh. Even though this is usually like 2 ounces, I just kind of go up another ounce just to make sure the shipping is covered. This is just asking what section of your shop to put it in, and then whether you want to feature the listing at the top and whether you want to turn on Etsy ads. And then it has the renewal option. I put automatic, but you could make it where you have to do it. So this is when I realized I messed up. I went into the preview and I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, everything looks great. And then I guess I'm like looking through the photos and then I looked over and I noticed it just says, which option would you like? And then I realized there was no drop down menu. So I just went back and added that in. It was no issue. But I have had listings before that I messed up on the front end and somebody tried to buy it. And then luckily they just messaged me instead of giving up and I had to go fix it. So now I just try to make sure, to have it complete before uploading it. But we're human and we make mistakes. And luckily, it's not the end of the world, but I always try to hit preview just to see like what it looks like. So all I'm doing here is just adding in those colors and we'll be good to go. So yeah, I think the process or the thought of it is just kind of daunting, especially when you're getting started and you don't want to mess anything up. But I think the important thing is just to like do some research on your keywords and like what your audience is typing in. And then just playing around with it because the more you do it, the faster this gets. Also, I have other like bookmarks that are different genres. So when I'm ready to upload those, when you click on this listing, I can hit make a copy and it will copy this entire listing. So I don't have to like repeat all the things. Like I could just change the pictures. I have to change the tags obviously because I put romance a lot, but I could leave this one pretty much the exact same for dark romance. It would probably work. So then I just went back and you can see it has the 2 drop down menus that I need plus the personalization box if needed. It says it's optional and it turned out great. And then in a second, you'll see me go back and refresh and you'll see it on the screen. So I hope this was helpful and that you enjoyed the process. Oh, it's just making sure that I know I'm going to have to publish and it's a 20-cent fee. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me down below. No, below. I can't talk. Let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.